to Season 2, Episode 8 of Losing Our Marbles to Talk for Two. It's been a good season so far, and I figured we might as well just derail completely. We'll just throw Shen under the bus and just have him be completely squashed for the next episode. So here we go. Putting all abandon to caution, let us now bring in the most infamous new character of the Shen's TV station. It's Z!
Hi, that's me.
Hello.
Hi, hello.
I feel like I might have to turn your volume up a tad.
Probably. I'm a quiet person.
It was weird because you were really loud during the 24-hour stream. I actually had to turn you down.
Oh, interesting.
Very interesting. Good stuff. Well, welcome in. Hi. How are you?
I'm good. Yes.
Good enough? Good enough
that I'm here.
That's all that matters, right? Showing up is, what, 90% of success? Is that the Woody Allen?
Yeah.
Or was that
Maybe.
Yogi Berra? I don't remember.
Couldn't tell you.
Who knows? Well, welcome in. As always, the usual format. I'll kind of lead the first half. You'll kind of lead the second half.
Cool beans.
Midstream mix up. It's going to be a fun one. It's the second one I've had to prepare material for. So that's exciting. Some of you may recognize the format from a previous Yusuf episode, but it's entirely different content, I assure you. All right, question 1. Are we ready?
Yeah.
I'm so ready.
Yeah.
Completely uninvolved question on my end. What is your preferred facial hair?
My preferred... My preferred facial hair? I don't know. I like facial hair, and I like the full on just whole beard, mustache.
Depends on the person, right?
No. I just like all of it.
Just all of it. Fair enough.
Self-expression?
Is that what it is? Is it kind of like a self-expression thing, or
texture?
Texture?
I like touch. I like to touch.
Fair enough. I think for me, I definitely don't like there's a couple people who get really long beards and they turn into dreads, and it just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
No, I like it just long enough that my fingers can.
Fair enough. I'm not taking notes, don't worry. It's fine.
Okay.
Speaking of faces, you're a streamer. I'm a streamer.
Yes. Facts.
I think we're both familiar with the concept of putting on that happy face. Huzzah!
Yes.
Kind of curious, where do you draw the line in being real and being honest with your community, and then just kind of being they don't need to know about this. This is just.
It takes a long time for me to get to a breaking point. I'm very much so somebody who puts up all these walls and just pretends all day, every day. And there comes a point where my breaking point is way further down the line than most people's would be. And once I get to that breaking point, I just kind of shut everything off, and I'm just I just don't feel good. Gonna go now. But then I'll just get into this emotional state, and it doesn't come from just wanting to say what the problem is, but it comes from feeling really grateful for what you have, and then you're just oh my god, you guys are the greatest, and I don't deserve you, and all this stuff's been going on in my life. You just get overwhelmingly happy from whatever reason, and then you're just word vomit.
Right. Don't think I've ever gotten to the word vomit point. I've definitely had some delusional rantings, but I don't think it ever got to the point of emotional word vomiting.
I got to emotional word vomit for the first time in a long time couple days ago.
I think I was there for part of that.
You were there.
I think
for
I
the
raided
first
into
half.
you before it happened or after it happened.
Yeah, it was like you came in and then all this stuff went down, and then you came back to be like, "Oh, good job."
Yes,
And
I
then
remember that. I remember that. I remember the
it
congrats.
continued. It
Continued to
continued
die.
like an hour later. It got worse, but better.
So how do you feel that kind of like? Do you feel like that fosters a healthy community, or do you feel like that's more of just an expectation that people have of like the honesty of the streamer?
I feel like you should have some level like of honesty. I mean, it's one of those um I don't have to tell you anything that's going on in my life,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like they should know like if I disappear for X amount of time or if
Like
I
like for
just
about 9 seasons or something. Yeah.
yes. Um yes. Thank you. Um but if I'm just not being myself, they're gonna know. Like
Right.
they
Right.
know who I am on my good days and on a regular basis or on my great days. So they're gonna know. The only thing that I take from that is if I'm gonna tell you X, Y, and Z about my life, don't feel like you are entitled to know the rest of my life.
Right. 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 Right.
Like, be grateful that I share what I do share with you, and then don't push it.
Right. Makes sense. Gotta have boundaries. Gotta have lines. Stops here. That's it. I see. I have a completely different approach. No one knows anything about me. That's my approach. Is they have no clue. I give no insights. You can garner some things about my personality maybe, but nah, I have like complete opacity. I think is my approach, and I think there's an advantage to that too, is because you can like sneak stuff in to like kind of vent, and people are like, oh, he's just make another thing up. It's like, well, no, that one was actually true, but how would anyone know?
True.
How would anyone know? So that's kind of my approach. It's the disinformation campaign, essentially. Just flood the market with everything, and then the truth is just lost in it.
I wanna vent without like I just want to vent.
Right.
Like you just listen. If I want advice from you, I'll let you know for sure. But if I just want to vent, I'm just gonna vent. And that's it. Will I get specific about my vent? Probably not, depending on who you are. But I just want to like yesterday I screamed at my mom I wasn't screaming at my mom, but she brought something up and I was like, "Give me a second." And I just went on this tangent for like 10 minutes and I was like, "Okay, that's all." And I walked off.
Nice. That's something I learned in, I think it was freshman year of college. Because my fiance at the time was a very emotional person. And there were situations where like she would tell me a whole bunch of stuff, and I'd be like, "Well, I feel like there's an easy solution to this." And apparently, she was not interested in a solution. She just wanted someone to listen to what she was saying. And I was like, it is awkward because like you are in a situation where you're being given a flood of information and you're supposed to just do nothing with it, which is a very hard thing for a human being to do. But
See, when it comes to my significant other, I'm not going to come to them and vent without wanting some kind of input. So I think maybe she was just crazy. Sorry.
probably, I mean, we did part ways, so.
Yeah, that might have been a good thing.
But that's something I've learned to look out for. Is like, is this person actually looking for help, or do they just need to express themselves? Kind of a thing.
I think that's where I stray away from like normal females.
Hmm.
So I want solutions, I want answers, but I don't know. Like I don't go searching for them just from anybody. Like I have a group of people that I'd want it from.
Do you have any questions in this field of area? This general category of conversation?
No. No.
Fair enough. We'll just move right along. I got plenty. Don't you worry.
That's good.
All right. So I was living in Boulder, Colorado for a long time, 4 years, and there's a sickening level of superficial spirituality over there. And the big campaign is the importance of self-love, which makes me vomit immediately anytime I hear someone talk about it. The whole idea of take care of yourself first and then help others, just it makes me want to murder a lot of people very quickly. What's your opinion on the matter of the modern day spirituality as a mask for selfishness?
I'm like the least selfish person, least selfish person on the planet. I mean, that's probably not true. There's probably a
Humble brag.
lot more less selfish people. But sometimes I feel like people put up this front that they're not selfish. Like now that's the meta.
Right.
It's you put up a front that you're not selfish in order to get what you want.
Right.
It's this whole manipulation game.
I
And
kind of agree. At least something like the social aspect of it. I'm thinking
you help people.
Right.
You help people so you get the help back in return.
Right.
And that's
And
the only reason why you do it.
I had a friend that commented on that because I'm a very much in real life, not on stream. I know hard for people to believe on stream. I'm not actually that caring, but in real life, I do generally try to go out of my way to help people that are in a tough situation. And I had one friend comment that he thought I was doing a very good job of implementing a business strategy, which is you initiate a favor for someone that's kind of a big favor, and then psychologically they feel like they owe you something for the rest of their lives because you did such a big favor to them when you didn't even know them, which again made me throw up immediately. That you would use good so manipulatively and so maliciously, like it's really, it was very upsetting. I'm not friends with that person anymore, by the way.
That's why I hate when people do things for me.
Right.
Because then I just have this in the back of my head, like oh, you got me a French fry. I owe you a French fry now. Mm-hmm. And then I feel bad when I never get this person a French fry. I feel like
karmic debt record.
So I'm just like, I want to do all these things for other people. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, if I do all these things for other people, when somebody does something for me, I won't feel in debt to them.
Right. You're trying to stay in the negative, as it were.
But even though I've done 100 things for somebody else, and then one person does one thing for me, I didn't do those 100 things for that specific person.
Right.
So I still feel in debt.
It just wipes it out, start over, God damn it, I'm back to zero.
Yeah. Not good. Mm.
It's a tricky beast. I just think so. It is. I think people don't understand how significant of a line they draw for themselves, right? So like they'll say, take care of your needs first, because you can't help anyone. Like if you're useless to everyone, then you're no good. So you need to at least take care of yourself so that you're useful to everyone else. But I think people very much exaggerate what that line is to be useful, right? Like did you get some sleep? Did you eat some food? Okay, you are now capable to help another human being. Congratulations. Like,
yeah,
like the bar is actually very low.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like people arbitrarily inflate that bar just so they can get away with more selfishness without feeling guilty about it.
Oh yeah. The sip, it gets me every time. Don't do it. Stop. It makes me want to, like, when you do that, it makes me like I just want to take my water and just chug the whole thing.
It's like rage drink.
I feel unsatisfied.
I know. So I was actually joking. You guys couldn't hear it because of the setup for the beginning, but I was joking that it's like become my brand now to have the biggest mug of coffee and take the tiniest sips in the world. So if like the mug ever breaks, or if I ever need to get a new one, it can only be bigger. And then my sips will have to become smaller. So like at some point, it's gonna come to the point where I have like a single hair paintbrush that I'm just like dipping into the coffee, and then just like.
No, no, no.
And I have to go
no.
through like half a gallon of coffee that way. It'd be great. We're lighting up chat right now. I gotta say, congratulations. This doesn't always happen. This is going good. I'm gonna try to dissect chat real quick. You could throw something my way if you want while I read chat.
I don't know what I want to throw at you. Ooh, this is a good one. This is what I wanted to ask you the other night, but I was like, I'm gonna save it.
Okay.
So, do you believe that there is a portion of reality that we are missing because we don't have the means to detect it?
Yes.
What do you believe we're missing?
I have no idea.
But if you had to,
because
you
we can't
detect it. But if you had to think of a way to detect it and what it would be.
Okay. Interesting. All right, so let's get philosophical here. All right. There are a lot of things physically bound by our universe. Thermo energy, electromagnetic energy, strong force, weak force, the curvature of space-time. These are all they're all bound by physical laws in nature. There's one thing that is not, which is to say, everything I've described so far can only travel the speed of light, cannot exist in more than one state in multiple places of the universe, right? Like everything is very like regimented essentially. But information is unbounded, right? I could have a box of matter in a configuration here, and then I could have the same box but inverted upside down right next to it. So the information would be identical, which is impossible for the physical universe, but possible for information. Similarly, if you have a paired group of electrons, which is to say one is in an upspin, one is in a downspin quantumly, and you separate them, billions of light years apart. If you measured the one as an upspin, the other one would have to be measured as a downspin. And that information would travel, 100 million light years instantaneously, faster than the speed of light. So, as we understand the universe right now, the only means to measure non-physical energies, whatever it may be, would be through information. So we need to start constructing scientific experiments that can read, quantify, and extrapolate information as a data point. And who knows what we find when we do that. Obviously, you're going to need a hell of a complex computer, right? Because even if something, if you talk about like the random blipping in and out of existence of tiny little particles, that's information. And it's random as we understand it scientifically, physically. But maybe there is an information in there that is not random, that we could extrapolate from it. And that might give us more insight into what's happening in the non-physical universe that's causing those things to happen.
True.
Yes.
I was not expecting that answer. I was more expecting something along the lines of
welcome to the talk show.
Yeah. Welcome to talking to you in general. I was thinking, I was like sitting here, I was like, oh, he's gonna have to try and create a whole new sense because then we'll be able to sense new things.
Like a third eye kind of a thing, or
like a third eye kind of a thing. Because the example that I was thinking of was like, how do we detect color if we don't have sight, or how do you detect anything
right
that you need with your sight if we don't have it? Like, what other things are we not privy to because we don't have that kind of sense to
right
notice?
And there's two issues there. One, humans have a lot of senses. They have electrosensitivity, they have thermosensitivity, they have chemosensitivity, photosensitivity. Like there's about 10, maybe 11 different senses humans actually have. Pressure sensitivity, you can actually feel how much pressure something's being applied to. So there's a lot of senses humans have. And despite how many we actually have, we're very bad at it. we are like the worst instruments, because our brains will do anything but tell you the truth as to what the sensory input was, right? So when you're hearing sound, you're not hearing sound. Your membrane is going back and forth, and a bone's going up and down, and another bone is going in and out. That's what's happening. But your brain's like, no, it's a symphony, it's music. And you're like, what? Yeah. That's not what's happening, right? So the human brain is like the worst measurement tool in the world. So, and that's where I always see a lot of issue, like when you have like the stupid ghost shows or any other supernatural phenomena where people are like, no, but the human was the record. It's like, yeah, the worst record. That's like capturing a photo of Bigfoot on a piece of tissue paper that fell in the mud, and you're like, yes, it's proof. It's like, no, that's like the worst proof. Even if it was true, it's still the worst proof. I'm sorry. It's not gonna happen. So anytime people try to use their own senses as proof of something, I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna do it.
No,
it's not gonna do it. So that's why I say information is like the one data we haven't figured out how to measure comprehensively. And if we could do that, we might get a lot more insight very quickly into what's happening in the non-physical world.
True.
What about you? If you say ditto, I'm ending the show right now.
Ditto. Test you. You know, I'm really good at like putting zero thought into questions.
Nice.
And then not having an answer.
Awesome.
And then you always throw it at me. You know, people usually only ask questions because they think they have the best answer.
Usually.
And Yeah.
That's fine. You don't have to have an answer. You can pass.
No, I don't have an answer because I've been sitting here trying to make up a new like sick like 20th sense that's gonna like make us see things that don't exist. I mean, and it's not working.
I mean, you can kind of, going back to vision actually is an interesting point to make just for the heck of it. Like we live in 3 dimensions, but we can only observe it 2-dimensionally most of the time. Like our vision, even though it's triangulated, is still technically 2-dimensional vision. The only actual 3-dimensional sense we have is the locational sense. So the reason you can put your 2 fingers together behind your back is because your brain knows, like, okay, the shoulder's at this angle, the elbow's at that angle, and the finger's at that angle. So both of them should be in the same spot behind my back, right?
I feel like I missed it. Wait, hold on. Got it.
But the reason you could do that is because you do have a spatial sense. And it's not visual. It's actually a muscular thing. So the only 3-dimensional observation we have of the universe is like putting both of our hands on something to figure out what it is. This is actually something that's very interesting with blind artists. There's a very famous blind artist that lives in Europe. I think he's English. And he draws architecture. So he'll go up to a building and he'll feel the building and then he'll draw the building. And they tried to test him because he had very accurate field of depth, like an actual perspective in his drawings. So to test him, they got this very strange building. It's an octagonal building, which is a very weird angle by itself. It was 120, is that 120 degree angle, I think, right? For octagon? Or no, 135 degree angle. And so just drawing that by itself is hard, but in the perspective of a building on ground level, drawing the base of that is like almost impossible. And they took him to one corner. He worked his way through, and he felt the angle, and then he went along the wall, and then felt the next angle, and he just like drew down a sketch, and then they compared the mathematical octagonal perspective image to his image. It was like a perfect match. It was insane. It was like better than anyone visually could have ever done. And the reason is because he wasn't using a two-dimensional sense to observe the object. He was using a three-dimensional sense to observe the object. So when you talk about like developing a sense that doesn't exist yet, like having a higher dimensional vision, like if you had fourth dimensional vision, you could properly observe three-dimensional space.
Right.
Which would be
that would make
powerful.
Art way easier, because I sit here and I'll stare at something for a really long time, and I'm like, how do I draw something going backwards when there's no backwards on paper?
Yeah. It's awful. So if we go anything by string theory, which argues up to 12 spatial dimensions, something like 12-dimensional space vision would be pretty OP.
Godly.
Yeah, be pretty good.
All the things. I feel like you might regret it, though.
I mean, it would be weird going back to the third dimension. Because, like, you know, with a circle in 2-dimension, you can't... If you're in the 2-dimension, you can't see inside the circle because it's the boundary of the circle blocking it. But from 3 dimensions, you can see inside the circle. Same thing applies 4th dimension looking at the 3rd dimension, right? So, like, if you looked at a human being, you wouldn't just see the skin. You would see... And you wouldn't just, like, see a cross-section inside them. You would see every cell in them, like, individually. Right. Like, it would be like you took a human being and you just spread them out into a 2-dimensional sheet, cell by cell. You would be able to see every single cell. So, it's kind of mind-boggling to wrap the head around. So, yeah.
I don't think I could do it. I think no, oof. I couldn't do it. I think it'd be too much. It'd be overstimulating.
Could be.
My brain would implode.
There are a lot of accounts of gazing upon the eye of God drives you insane. So, could be touching on that kind of an aspect. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Completely different direction. Old marbles. Oh, man. Look at that. See? Oh, my God. Old marbles.
My heart.
Season 4, Season 6, Season 7. Even Season 9.
Why'd you skip 5?
Oh, man. Old marbles.
I'm going to cry. Why am I emotional?
Such cute old days.
No energy systems.
No
24-hour streams. Grinding 40 tabs.
Those were the days. What was your favorite map, Season 9 and younger?
Crap. Portal Purgatory used to be like... Or Fuel
Oh
Survive.
my God, Portal Purgatory before the Wall of Death. Oh my God, I have a record. I actually have a record. I have to find this. I have to find this.
Or...
Keep talking.
Like, yeah, Portal Purgatory, Fuel Survive. Speedrun was kind of good. Oh shoot. Pixel's Portal Alley. Oh my God, I couldn't stand it.
That's my favorite map. How dare you?
After he fixed it, it's better. When it originally came out,
good.
God.
For high-speed commentary, it was the best map. It was the best map. No. It was a photo finish every time. It was great. Okay.
Oh.
So, Portal Purgatory. I used to have 2 different records. I had the time record, which Grimlust still holds, by the way. Good job, Grimlust. See you in chat. And then I had a different one, which was how many passes through the map a marble could make. And the record was set by Par, with I think 5 underscores after his name or something like that. And he went through 18 times. And it wasn't even that he died or that he finished after going through the map 18 times. My computer crashed. Like, my computer gave up. Par outlasted my computer on Portal Purgatory. And that record has never been beaten. And it can't ever be beaten because, you know.
Wall of Death.
Wall of Death. What I might have to do, actually, I might have to recreate Portal Purgatory as a custom map. and then just go for it. No wall of death. Speaking of which, I'm going to be building after stream today, so I could probably bang that out real quick and then figure out what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Actually, what if I did that for the mid-season tournament? I think we just figured it out.
I'm more excited that I requested that day off now more than ever.
Nice.
You better do it.
We're doing it. I'm gonna tell Spoo right now.
Do it.
Spout.
I'll tell Spoo.
Spout. So what else about preseason?
Spoo's
9?
here. Spoo knows.
Oh, Spoo. Good. Great. Awesome. Hi, Spoo. I'm gonna recreate Portal Purgatory. I just lost a whole bunch of frames. Hold on. Mild internet hiccup. I think we're back. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna recreate Portal Purgatory so that there's no wall of death timer, and then we'll just run it till someone beats it. See how long it takes. Hopefully it'll take like 20 minutes. It'll be great. I could deliberately make it harder to win. I could make a moving win bin, just to really make it more difficult. I think it'll be fun.
Oh, I'm hitting things.
What else about season 9 and earlier did you like?
I don't know. I get overwhelmed. It was a smaller community. Yeah. Not to say I don't like that it's a bigger community now, because I love it. There's so many more great people that I'm just like being flooded with, and I'm like, hi, hello. But like, everybody was so close, and like we all just knew each other, and it was so easy to give everybody all the love.
Speaking of
all
OGs.
The time. It's my wife.
Speaking of OGs.
Yes.
Nicole. I've been doing that since season 6. I haven't every time.
But everybody could like get the love around to everybody with like in a day and a half.
Yep.
And
that's my biggest struggle right now is like I want to keep finding new streamers to hang out with, but I can't even watch all the streamers I currently watch.
I can barely keep up with the people that I already hang out with. like I want to love you and you and you. Right. And I want to love everybody and I can't.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Pixel, bring back season 4. Just one season.
Let's just start
just
over.
For one season. Just reload season 4's build and just coast it for a season. just to do it and then go right back into the new build. Just a blast.
Season 20 is just a turn back in time, and then season 2021 like can just pick up where we left off.
Yeah, and if anything, it'll make people that much more impressed with how much Pixel has done with the game, right?
Because I mean, like nobody liked 2020 anyways, so who says we're gonna like season 20?
Might as well just get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Although I have been advocating that we try to make at least some progress by the end of the year, so that we can at least start in a better situation for 2021. Because you don't want 2021 starting where 2020 leaves off, right? We want to try to have a little bit of rebound in December.
A little bit. Hopefully something.
Just to get a little bit higher of a starting point for 2021.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Nicole's stuck in the past. It's a shame.
It is a shame.
Trapped forever. Just don't play any pachinko, that's all. Why did I bring that up? Oh, God. Good Lord. Pachinko. I mean, it's cat's out of the bag now. Pachinko.
I itch to play it now. I really do.
I apologize.
I really do.
Can we get a show in chat of like who didn't play pachinko and now does because of the 24-hour stream? Because that was what Pixel was talking to me about. He was like, I think pachinko just needs more attention, and I think your 24-hour stream is going to give it more attention. I'd be interested to see if there was any.
I played it before, like when I initially came back, before moving back entirely, but when I was still in Pennsylvania, I learned about pachinko. I was like, pachinko, what's this? And then I played it, and I was like, okay, I could casually get into this every once in a while, and now I just all the time. I just want to play pachinko.
All pachinko.
all pachinko
You know what it
all
is,
the time.
and this is something Pixel talked about on his episode, is that it does scratch that grinder itch. The OG, like, having more tabs open and constantly dropping plays, and it has that grinder itch to it.
I love that I just randomly mid-season was now almost mid-season was like I want to grind now.
Yeah, you're only 3 weeks behind. You can catch up.
I'm only 3 weeks behind. I could probably just, chuck it in the wind bin and call it a day.
Yeah. Say I can't.
I say that.
Number 1 right now, actually.
I say that. I
You're
like to
still
say that
number
in
one?
real life situations. Chuck it in the wind bin and call it a day.
Hey, it's a good phrase.
People just are like, huh?
Yeah.
What?
Dunk it.
I'm like,
Dunk it. Don't just chuck it. Dunk it in the wind bin. Just fucking high
Wind
pop
bin.
fly off the pin, dunk into the wind bin.
yeah. Say I can't's always like telling me, he's like, why don't you have tabs open? Why don't you have tabs open? You
Right.
said you want to do this. Why don't you have tabs open?
I don't know how Sidecan has time to do that while they are doing it. I still don't understand.
Because the way that he does it, I don't even know how to explain how he does it. He explains it way better. But it's not as hard as people make it seem to be. They're like, you have to be on top of it, blah, 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 blah. I mean, you do have to be on top of it, but it's not the level of difficulty people think that it is.
I think it's the sustained concentration over a long period of time. I think that's the issue, right? Like anyone could do it for 5 minutes, but then you have to do it 8 hours. Then you have to, and then you wake up and then you have to do it for another 8 hours, and then I think that's where the difficulty comes in. I just have too much to do. Like I'll be trying to follow a couple streams. And I'll be like, well, I gotta get 3 more videos edited by Friday, so okay, bye.
Yeah.
So
I forget. I'll get into doing all of these other things, and then I'm like, oh wait, I said I wanted to do this. And then my brain's like, oh well, you can do it tomorrow. And I'm like, Z no, do it now, or you're never gonna do it.
true.
I think if I got into the habit of doing it all the time, like what it takes like what 21 days to break a habit, but like 7 days to make a habit.
Something, yeah, something like that.
Right.
I agree.
If I did it long enough, if I was consistent long enough, it would just become habit.
Right.
And then you would learn new ways to do other things at the same time.
Right. That's where I struggle. Like y'all saw during the Pachinko 24-hour, I could not eat and Pachinko at the same time. Not possible.
You couldn't talk and pachinko at the same time. Let's get it out there.
Fair enough. So I think it's just part
Ooh,
of
a raid came in. Let me just scuff.
every
minute and a
raid.
half.
I pretty much got a timeout after every single raid.
raid.
It's pretty good. GG's.
Yeah, you did win.
I did. And actually, I won one yesterday while I was streaming a solo marble run. So 2 for 2. I could. It's no longer a one of, right? People were always making fun of me because of my, flawless 100% success Pachinko tournament winning strategy of streaming 22 hours of Pachinko first. But it's now 2 for 2 on the strategy, so it's no longer a one of. It has never not worked, and it's worked twice.
After that stream, I paid off all my timeouts because I wanted to keep going.
And I kept it under. I thought I was going to be able to keep it under 3 minutes, and then raids started happening.
But then you just
yeah. But I did keep it under 5, which I think is impressive for 24 hours.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. Old marbles.
marbles.
It's good times. Did you have anything about
like,
old marbles?
I like where it's at now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's healthier. Nobody's staying up for 72 hours to get things done.
Right.
And, I mean, people have more, I don't want to say set communities, but like, you're more likely to meet new people because not everyone is everywhere all at the same time.
Right. It's a little clicky now.
I wouldn't even call it clicky. People have their preferred tabs that they pay attention to, and people are more diverse and they pay attention to a lot more people. But you're being limited on how many tabs you can have open if you don't want to run out of energy.
Right.
And you have to strategically do it to, like, the more tabs you have open, the more strategic you have to be.
Mm-hmm.
But then you finish your tiers and your streamer's ending and you run into somebody new and you're like, oh, hey.
It is getting to a weird point for me, at least, where like I'll raid into a small streamer that I've like literally never seen before, like not even on like no stream ever have I ever seen this screen name. And they're like, oh my god, it's Shed. I'm like, who are you? Like,
you know who I am?
Like, who are you? I didn't know you existed until I saw your name in the category.
Not knowing who somebody is, I feel really bad. I don't think I told you this, but I felt really bad the day that, like, when I was like full blown back and I came into your stream and I was like, so this is where I come to learn how to tilt, right? And you were like, Z, don't, come on, you've been here before. And I was like, I have? Are you sure? Really? Have I? I don't remember. This man knows me and I'm thoroughly confused and I feel awful. I'm sorry.
It happens. It happens. Don't worry about it. I'm sure there's people back from season 9 and 10 that I would not remember today and be like, no, we hung out all the time. But like, okay.
There's been a lot of people who've like come up to me and they're like, oh my god, you're back. And I'm like, did we only ever see each other in passing? Like, did you only notice my name in chats? Because, honey, I'm so sorry, but I'm so sorry.
Or like someone, I think the worst one for me is like someone who you haven't seen, like you think you haven't seen before, and they come in and they sub, and it's like for their 6th month, and you're like, I have no idea who this person is. And
and I start asking questions. I'm like, did you change your name?
Like, yeah, you're trying to like dance around it. Like,
who are you before?
Is it a name change? Has it been a while? Like,
no, I didn't change my name.
Oh, that's better.
Welcome back. I love you.
Yeah. Great. Totally remember. Yeah. Terrible. I mean, to be fair, the average human being can only keep social engagement with about 175 people. So, if you have more than 200 followers, I don't think you're socially, contractually obligated to remember any of them ever. That's
and then being gone for like 9 or 10 seasons.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
And
would not recommend.
Would not recommend. Don't do it.
Recommend. Don't do it.
Don't leave.
Don't do it.
Ever.
Don't do it. Yep. It's not quite midstream mix-up time yet.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is it off topic?
Have you watched the show before?
So this has been in my head for like a month and a half. So do you dress up from the waist up or do you fully commit?
Wow. Wow. That's been on your mind, apparently.
Is it like dress up waist up and then pajamas and then or is it
my mom wishes I would. Cuz she'll see stream from time to time and she'd be like, why are you wearing your dress pants? You're going to ruin them. I'm like, because it's part of the ensemble. It's got to be, you know. I'm not wearing a belt because that would be horrifically uncomfortable for hours on end. But, you know, it's the outfit. It's the outfit. What?
That's what you've been thinking about?
I mean, it's good to know where your mind is. you know.
I just had to know because, like, for the longest time, I would only get ready from the waist up because nobody ever saw me from the waist down.
You're one of those people.
I'm one of those people. I mean,
Fair enough.
not today. I'm ready head to toe. I mean, I'm not wearing shoes, but why do I need to wear shoes?
I don't wear shoes.
Then you're not. It's not a full commit.
I don't wear shoes inside. Period.
Yeah, no, I don't like wearing shoes.
Even if I was at a wedding, I would probably have my shoes off.
I don't think I only wear shoes if I'm going somewhere.
Yes, I wear dress socks. Only when it's cold, though. If it's hot, I'll just be barefoot.
I like socks.
Well, women's socks
like
are a lot
feet.
better than men's socks, let's be honest.
Feet are just... Ew. No.
Nicole, that's a great question. We'll save that for the Q&A after show. It's a good one. Cool. So, yeah, I am not, commando.
I wasn't asking that. I was like, nice shirt, vest, blah, blah, SpongeBob pants.
Now, if I'm wearing SpongeBob pants, they're getting on screen. That's prime stream content. I'm not hiding that from the camera.
Good point.
So, yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Any other questions that have been on your mind for months? They just have to ask.
Not for months.
Okay.
No.
Cool. Well, if you want, I think we could bitchy mix it up because this might take a while. Actually, we might need some time.
Okay.
So it's time for the midstream mixer. Yeah. All right. I have owned a lot of strained animals in the past.
Right.
I don't know if you've owned, but I think you have interest in owning a lot of strange animals. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Great. We can see everything on stream.
Yeah, that's really great. Good job, Z. I was
If
going to
only you had a green screen
before. I was going to get one before, and then, like, my computer said, I'm going to die.
Nice.
So I didn't.
Nice. All right.
Whoopsies.
So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to erase everyone from existence. Gone. All right, here's the plan. I have various animals, and we must place them
Okay.
on the tier list. The tier list is as follows. God tier. Best pets. It'd be nice. Only as a favor. And never.
Hold up. Can I ask a question?
Oh boy. What?
Did you know that Mudkip is my favorite?
I could say it was not a coincidence.
How did you know?
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. First up, teacup puppies. I think they're adorable.
Only as a favor.
Only as a favor, really?
Only as a favor. I don't like small dogs.
I mean, I don't like small dogs. But to be fair, this is specifically a teacup puppy. I think they're officially called a teacup Pomeranian.
Yeah, no.
Wow. Brutal.
Sorry.
Like Chihuahuas, no thanks. But
No,
teacup
thank you.
puppy, I would. It'd be nice for a little while.
No, I'm firm on that only as a favor type deal because it's still a pet and it's still fluffy and it's still a dog. So
Right.
I'm like, yeah, totally. I'll watch it for half an hour.
Okay. Next one. I don't think there's any discussion.
Yeah,
Next
no
one.
discussion.
I mean, not cats in general. This is specifically Sadie.
Yeah, no question.
If it was just cats, probably there. But Sadie, God tier.
Yeah.
I don't think we can argue. What is the cartoon green box? Good question. Next one.
That is a slime.
Minecraft slime cube. I think best pets. I had one for.
I believe.
I made a couple different YouTube series for Minecraft servers.
Right.
I did Earth to Luke for a while, and I did Mystical Realms for a while.
Okay.
And I had a pet slime in every YouTube series, and they are the best pets. They do die horrific deaths very easily, which makes me very depressed. But I think that's part of a pet experience is the traumatic soul-crushing end to every pet owning situation.
Right. And it's not like they die right away either. Like they get harmed and then they break into more, so then you have more pets.
Right.
So I think that, yeah, I would think that would constitute the best pet.
Cool. Fair enough. What's your Minecrafting experience?
I started out as a Minecraft streamer.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I did a lot of like online stuff with a whole bunch of friends, and then I dabbled into I like the hardcore modded Minecraft, things that
Fair enough.
are extremely hard and you need to put like 400, 500 hours into type stuff.
I like Mistcraft. Mistcraft is a lot of fun.
I did it was called Divine Journey,
Okay.
and I never finished it. And now I really want to.
Fair enough.
But it's been so long, I would start over. I've started over a million times because I just never finished it.
Okay. All right. Birds. I don't know.
It'd be nice.
I don't know. I've had birds. It's not that great.
I just no, I think only as a favor, probably. I think I agree with you on that one because now that I'm thinking about it, just birds can just be so stressed so easily.
And they're dirty and they destroy
And they need
things.
attention.
Yeah.
And I don't have time for me. How am I gonna have time for a bird?
And it's nothing against the birds. It's just birds aren't evolved to be pets, you know?
No.
They're evolved to be friends. Like if you're out in the wild and you make friends with a crow, like that's, or if you're a Mongolian horseback hunter and you've got a gold eagle, right?
Uh-huh.
They're designed to be that capacity, but I don't think they're designed to like live in a house and be there every hour of every day.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I agree. Okay, this next one makes me nervous.
What?
I have two holes in my heart, and one of them is for seals.
I
would chop off both my legs
huge...
if it meant being able to own a seal.
I can't go to like aquariums or like zoos really. Like it's nice, but when like just seeing animals and things like that. But
this is not the animals held against their will in captivity tier. This is the
correct.
Pets
I
tier.
mean, but still, I have this huge. I could never.
You could never?
They don't. You'd have to have so much money to keep it comfortable.
Right. Which is why they're God tier. You would essentially, you are their pet. Like you have to like do everything for them.
I couldn't.
I totally agree.
I just don't believe.
Well, it's my stream. I'm leaving it on God tier for now.
Okay.
We'll just know that you disagree.
Okay.
Because doggos of the sea, my favorite thing ever. How dare you?
They are cute. I wouldn't put it on never because it's not whether or not it's ethically correct to keep them.
If you had the means to properly provide for the animal, how would it be as a pet? And in that capacity, nice. God tier. It'd be nice. All right, I could live with that. Here, we'll hit the middle ground. You know, slime cubes, seals. I think we can make those equivalent. That's fine.
Yes.
Okay, speaking of things.
God tier.
God tier for a tiger?
God tier.
Just straight up tiger?
God tier.
It is badass. No one's going to argue with someone who has a pet tiger.
Who would give me problems in life?
Right.
Nobody.
It's like in South Africa, shopkeepers will have like pet jaguars that just like guard the shop. Like, forget a Rottweiler, forget a pit bull. I'm getting a goddamn panther.
Giant cat.
So, I mean, I would have said best pets, but I'll take God tier. I can fuck with that. It'd have to be a badass cat.
In the God tier, it's just cats.
Cats. All right. I mean, this is going faster than I thought it would. Oh, this is good. Let's get a little weird. Newts. They do have adorable faces.
It'd be nice, I think is where I'd put it. It's not
I've owned
not my
newts
first
before.
choice.
Very easy. Very easy pet.
Easy pets are nice. I could probably take care of one right now with
Nice.
my crazy life. But I think there's things that are better.
Yeah, I agree. But
And
they
I
are...
definitely put it above teacup puppies.
Wow.
And birds.
Definitely above birds. Good stuff. Okay. Orcas.
Never.
Never.
I don't care if it's ethically
Assholes.
right to keep them or not. I don't care if you have the means to keep them properly.
Assholes.
Never. You own an orca and I will find you and I will end you.
I think they're
I will
just
drag
assholes.
that orca back to the ocean myself.
I just think they're assholes. I don't want anything to do with them.
I just think that they need to live their lives on their own. And honestly, I'm afraid that one might kill me if I owned it.
Exactly. They would be the worst pets.
It would kill me.
Yep.
I'm
It
like
would.
I'm a small bean. I'm a small person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to be taking care of something that is equivalent to 5 million of me.
Yep. I agree. Good stuff. Okay. Snacks.
Best pets.
Danger noodles. Best pet for danger noodles.
Best pets.
Wow.
They're not all danger noodles. Some of them are boop noodles. Best pets. I want a snake really bad. I really do.
I don't know. I like skinks. Not so much for the snakes. I think I would put skinks as best pets. I would probably put snakes as it'd be nice.
I just love. I don't know why I have this thing for snakes. I've never had a thing for snakes, but like recently, I'm just like, I want a snake. I want a snake. I want a snake. I want a snake. I want a snake.
Fair enough.
Give me a snake.
Okay.
They're cute.
They are. I think skinks are better.
They just
but...
go around and they're just like. I don't even. That was not a snake. I don't know what I was trying to do right. I'm gonna stop.
I mean, I wouldn't say best. I would say it'd be nice, but I think I can compromise to best pets.
Yes.
Okay, we're getting into the real stuff here.
Yes. You're joking.
Komodo dragon.
Did you really just god tier that?
Hold on, hear me out.
Okay.
You have like a mansion,
Okay.
and you've turned your entire front yard
Uh-huh.
into a Komodo dragon sanctuary.
Okay.
And you've got like the most badass wrought iron gate with a path down the middle, fenced off from the street or sidewalk to your house. And it's just like the most badass thing ever. Just go out in the morning, throw giant raw hunks of meat to your Komodo dragons as they come scampering up to you. Like, oh my God. And then, inevitably 2 years down the road in the newspaper, millionaire gets killed by his own Komodo dragons, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's the way I want to go. Everything about that I love.
They smell
Well, yeah.
really bad.
Yeah, that's how they kill things. They literally have rot in their mouth, so when they bite you, it's instantaneous sepsis.
Never. I could never.
Never.
Never. We're on two different ends of the spectrum here.
And it's definitely not it'd be nice. That's not a middle ground compromise.
I
mean, to be fair, you did get tigers to the god tier.
But you agreed.
I compromised to agree. I would have said best pets, but
That's completely different than never in God tier. I'm not compromising with you.
so you would never Komodo dragons?
Never.
Never. I'll just have to sit down here then. All right, Evie.
Best pets.
Best pets. Why is Eevee not the mascot of Pokemon? Seriously. Missed opportunity. You could have an Eevee for every occasion because it evolves into every type. It's adorable, charismatic.
That's not the point of Pikachu, though, because Pikachu can evolve.
Right.
But Pikachu doesn't want to.
Right.
So I feel like they'd have... And when... I don't know if you've played the Let's Go Eevee game, but you can't evolve your Eevee.
Well,
if you want
stupid.
A different Eevee, you have to catch a different Eevee.
That sounds very stupid. That sounds like more just another failing of Niantic, right? Like,
well, no,
it could have been the perfect mascot.
No. Niantic is only the mobile game.
Oh, okay. Well, then Nintendo.
I'm talking about actual Pokemon games. I'm talking about Game Freak.
Still, I feel like Eevee should have been the mascot, not Pikachu.
It could have worked, but I feel like... Oh, wait, now I'm thinking... I was about to be like, I feel like Pikachu's attitude is different, but then Eevee could be a sass master.
Oh, yeah.
She would be the sass queen. She would be, like, putting me into an Eevee and then being like, let's give her personality on a TV show, and then she would kill it. But then I think she would be too much.
Can you imagine Espion? Oh, my God. Espion would just be a queen, for sure. Good Lord. So, I don't know.
Well, I guess Niantic is Let's Go.
It's a missed opportunity. All right, Mudkip. I think right there we all agree.
God tier.
We all
God
agree.
tier. God tier.
We all agree. Mudkip right down there.
God tier. God tier. Did you know?
Oh boy.
Before TikTok.
Oh wow, we're going way back.
Vine. I made a loop, and it was just me saying, "One Mudkip, want a Mudkip? Did you want a Mudkip? Want a Mudkip?" And it
sounds
looped
awful.
Millions and millions of times, to the point where, for the longest time, if you Googled "want a Mudkip," there would be all these Mudkip pictures, and then about 3 lines down and like 2 to the right, there was my Vine profile picture.
Nice. What is it about Mudkip?
Mudkip specifically, like its evolutions are also God tier, but Mudkip, especially Mudkip, I feel a connection. I feel like if I was a Pokemon, that's what I would look like.
Fair enough.
I mean, I could sit here and say I'd be Trubbish, but no, Mudkip. It's just so cute.
It is.
Look at it.
I think Swampert looks a bit dopey. But
it's okay. It's so cute. I just want to squish it. It's a little squish. You just grab it and you snuggle it really, really, really tight that you fear you're gonna crush it, and then you let go and you're like, "See, I told you I was not like it's okay."
Fair enough. All right. Well, great. I think midstream mix-up. Success. GG's.
Yeah.
We did. I mean, other than the Komodo dragon, but
it was never to begin with. There was no questions asked on that one.
Wow. Oh, hey, look, it's the second half of the stream. I mean, I still got a bunch of questions, but I'm sure you've got
Go
some
for
questions.
it.
So it's your half.
Go for it.
You get to lead.
Well, okay. I have a lot of mustache questions. Like, a lot.
do you just want to,
I asked around.
Do we want to, rapid fire at the end kind of a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I asked around, and nobody had questions for me to ask you unless they were mustache related. Right. And
so
we'll
do a rapid... What's it called when it's rapid fire questions? Is there a term for that?
I think it's just rapid fire.
No, there's a
or is it
like
speed
a game
round?
show speed round. Is it the speed?
Maybe.
There's a game show term. I don't know.
You're asking the wrong person.
It'll come eventually.
But I do.
But
I have one question that does not relate to your mustache.
Fantastic. Lightning round. Thank you, Wootmaster.
Lightning round.
We'll do a lightning round at the end. I knew there was a term.
1 hour tracks. Why?
Pixel.
What?
It's all his
What?
fault. It's all his fault.
How?
Okay, I wanted to make as a joke. Okay, so the loop piece, right? You can make it half a loop, up to 3 full loops. The loop piece. You turn it sideways, you put a glass covering on it, and the marbles spiral down it, right? That is the longest non-moving piece in marbles. Takes 15 seconds for a marble to get from the top to the bottom.
Okay.
So, I just wanted to do 300 loop pieces from positive 1 million to negative 1 million as a map. Turns out, you only need about 70 to go from the top to the bottom of the map. You do not need 300 pieces to do it. So, I initially made the map. I was like, well, I have all these pieces left over. So I devised a system in which once the marbles got down to the bottom, they jumped all the way back up to the top. And they went through a switch. And the first time they go through the switch, they go back into the starting piece, and they have to go all the way down the coil again. And then the second time they go through the switch, they go into this ridiculous cannon brigade that I kind of did as like the congratulations, you sat through 140 minutes of nonsense, here's your reward. And what that cannon brigade did is there was a cannon at the center of each boundary, and it shot you to all 6 boundaries full speed with these weird catching funnel devices that I had to create that mostly worked, still had some marble death on it. So it was like just 140 minutes of literally looking at the same thing, because when you look up and you look down, you can't see the top or bottom of it. And the marble's just going in the same spiral over and over again. So the camera always looks the same. If you took a screenshot from 10 minutes in and a screenshot from 120 minutes in, you would not know the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the map. And I uploaded it. And then Pixel was like, that cannon thing at the end is really cool. What if the whole map was like that? And I was like, you bastard. you bastard. So the next season, I tried to make a track that was at least an hour long, but interesting the entire time. And the way I went about that was, it was a section and then a cannon jump, and then a section and then a cannon jump, and then a section and a cannon jump. And I wanted each section to feature a different piece. And there were a lot fewer pieces back then, so it was a much easier thing to do. Mm-hmm. And I only got it up to about 40 minutes. And the ending was really hard to follow because I was doing the cannon thing again, but there was also a track. So when you're trying to like follow the lead marble, it was a disaster. People were not able to follow it at all. So I had to take everything I learned from that experience and then season 15's Immortal build, where it all came together in the first real 1 hour track. And it was such an explosion of form. Nothing anyone had ever seen before concept, that it was ignorable. And I was like, well, I guess I just have to do this now for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And now here we are, season 19.
You're still doing it.
Still doing it. And dare I say, getting better.
That's good. At least, like, I mean, positive progress is better than doing the same thing over and over and over again.
I would never do the same thing over and over again.
Well, obviously not exactly the same thing, but like you're learning things.
Yep, every time.
I mean, if you're just making tracks based off the same amount of knowledge every single season,
you're like making
it
me
would
depressed.
Probably get a little bit redundant.
Yeah, that's just thinking about that's making me depressed.
But it's not that way, so it's okay.
Right. Thank God. Close call. Cool. Good question. But yeah, it's all Pixel's fault. People think I say that as a joke, but it's literally Pixel's fault because he is the one that literally said, cool thing at the end there. What if the whole 140 minutes was like that? And I'm like, God damn it, Pixel.
What? Is there anything that we can't blame Pixel for?
A lot, probably.
I think it might be like there probably is a lot of things, but there's probably such minute things that they're hard to pinpoint.
I guess. I'm just
No,
not
I
in the
just-
habit of blaming Pixel for things. So when I do blame Pixel for things, I know it's genuine, right? Instead of just saying default, oh, that's Pixel's fault. I usually default
Oh.
into I fucked up. And then I'll
always
think about
been
it and be
in
like, no,
the-
that was Pixel's fault. That's his fault.
I've always like been in a habit of like something happening, and then I'm just like, Pixel.
Right. I think
And
nothing personal. I just think that's a bad habit to have.
I don't.
As entertaining as it may be.
I've done it for as long as I can. Like a
Yeah,
ball will
yeah.
get stuck somewhere on a map when I used to run races, and I'll just look at it and I'm like, Pixel.
Right.
Now I have to wait.
Yeah.
But
Fisher,
that's
okay,
like
great question, by the
that's
way.
obviously something that's not his fault.
Right. But we'll do Q&A at the end of the show there, Twitch Marvel Kings. Save the question for later. Good stuff. Lasers are Pixel's fault? I don't know. Was lasers Pixel's idea, or did Pixel just put someone else's idea in, right? Maybe it's Ender's fault. Maybe it's Shibunya's fault. Maybe it's some random dude in the suggestion comment in Discord. I don't know.
They're pretty.
They are pretty. What else we doing? What else we got? Where do you want to go from here?
What if we sat down, you and me, one day, different from this day?
Oh, okay. I was like, everything checks out so far. It's like, yeah, keep going.
And you teach me how to make the godliest track on the face of the planet. I'll buy the map builder pass. But
The
you have to
Godliest map.
godliest map. Like we're gonna make them like it'll rival your 1 hour track, but only take maybe like 2.5 minutes. We need to make you and me got to sit down and we need to make something that rivals everything that's ever been done.
What I'm actually hearing is,
Or we need to make a grind worthy track. Something that people put in their 16 race Grand Prix when they're doing 100 plus races in a
no,
stream.
right. No, I hear everything you're saying. What I'm actually hearing sounds more like I have a bunch of great ideas that would be a great track, but I can't make tracks. So why
I
don't
have
you
no
do all
ideas.
the work?
No,
That's what I'm hearing.
no, it's going to be under me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to figure out ideas
Okay.
and you're going to teach me how to go about implementing them and making it work.
Right. Like I said, it sounds like
No, you're teaching me. I don't want you to do it for me. I want you to teach me so I can figure it out.
right. No,
And you
that
can
could be
steer
fun.
me in the right direction.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Like not sitting here telling me, "Oh, do this, do this, do this, do this." Like let me do, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me do X, Y, and Z."
Yeah,
And
it
then
would be
you're
like
like,
it would be
"I
like
don't
an
know, do you wanna
AABA
do that?"
Wednesday, but personal trainer mode.
Personal trainer mode.
Yeah. That's true, Nicole. Good point.
It is really true. That's why I say it.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Yeah, I mean, maybe.
And then once I have all this knowledge, we can like put our minds together on two different ideas
Right.
and then make a Franken track.
Well, there has been speculation that at some point I start taking submissions. I think we talked about this during the 24-hour stream.
I think so.
It takes submissions of people's sections. So they have 30 pieces to make a 7-minute track. And then I take the 8 best ones and turn it into a full 1-hour track. So you could definitely submit something for that. I'm also thinking maybe at some point in an unprecedented future, that's definitely never going to happen, where maybe both you and I had the ability to be on the same camera at the same time. I don't know.
What do we hold on. Wait.
What?
Repeat yourself.
What? Just saying, like, maybe sometime in November,
Right.
speculatively, in a
Right.
complete fantasy.
Yes.
If there were any way that both of us could appear on the same camera at the same time to teach you how to use the builder.
Correct.
I don't know.
Are you insinuating that I take down my entire setup so that's possible?
No. Unless that is the only way it would be possible. Like, I don't know. Like I said,
That would be the only way.
pure fantasy.
Pure fantasy.
I don't know. TBD.
Yeah.
Great.
Great.
What else you got? You want me to ask a question, or you want to keep going?
Yeah, it's your turn because I just have mustaches left.
Such preparation.
I really tried, but I
Hey,
also
no, that's
didn't think
fine.
that I was going to be speaking to you all the time between
Right.
when you asked and now.
Yeah, again, when we first agreed to do this, a lot has happened. So, understandable. Social media. Bax and I did a show not too long ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he lambasted social media as a plague of modern humanity. I feel like maybe you see it in a different light.
I can see social media being a plague. I guess it's just not the part of social media that I throw myself into.
Right.
I also really suck at it.
You're better than I am. Put it
Only
that way.
recently, like, have I started using Twitter on a regular basis.
Right. Well, you're
Um,
verified now, right?
No, stop. That was such a joke. That was such a joke. It wasn't even funny. I was like, this is fishy.
Ugh.
And I was like looking at it, I was like, there's no way. Like if this was, it'd be super exciting, but I know for a fact I'm nowhere near qualified for verification on Twitter. And so I did all the digging and all the digging and all the digging. And I was right. It was bogus.
Well spotted. Well spotted.
Um,
So yeah,
Good thing
so
I didn't
social
click
media as a
anything.
tool and/or as a career. That's kind of more the direction I'm going.
I feel, well, it depends on what you describe as social media. Like just like Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter,
Instant
and then everything.
communication, accessible to the general public.
Mm. Um, I think social media would be better used, depending on the platform, better used as a career.
Mm.
So I feel like that's when you stay away from a lot of the bullshit that makes social media toxic. I mean, then you get into controversial content,
Right.
but it's not just
I think
shit posts.
by making it a career, you are required to have a certain substantial audience to support it.
Mm-hmm.
And that size of that audience is impossible to be an echo chamber. So like there's a guaranteed level of variety of opinions in a large enough audience to support it as a career. Whereas, if it's just you and 100 people, you can kind of all just be in your little echo chamber and turn into some horrible twisted ghoul.
Right.
So that makes sense. My argument's more in like the intellectual capital as an actual, economic viability.
Mm.
So when I look at social media as a career, I really think it is that concept of, marketing an economy. Especially
Whenever
in today's
you
economy.
get into one form of social media, to make that form of social media expand, you also have to go to other forms of social media
Right.
and promote over there, and then you
Right.
have to promote that social media back on the other platform, and
Mm-hmm.
then you have to talk to people. So you have connections,
Right.
and then you open more doors, and it's a lot of work.
It is. I just don't see it that different though. Like if you look at a regular neighborhood 100 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
there's the person that everyone knows in the neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's that quiet person down the road that never leaves their house, right? Social media is
That's
really,
me.
it's just the same thing. It's just amplified, right? So
Yeah.
that's how I see it.
You can, yeah, I guess in a real life situation, you have all these connections that are here in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
but you're limited
Right.
to who you can reach in a timely manner
Mm-hmm.
because of distance and travel.
Yep.
On social media, the whole world is open for you to just, hey,
Yep.
I exist.
Existence. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a real person.
Yes. Am squish bean.
Am Squish Bean.
Okay, I have two ways I can go from here.
Okay.
Can go the superficial route, or we can go super deep route. Purple, by the way.
Purple.
Purplish, I guess. Purple.
Right. Let's go deep.
Deep. Okay.
Deep.
You ready? This is like the question. Like, there's always that one question I ask every stream.
Right.
So this is like that question.
That question. Okay.
The normalization of sexuality while eliminating objectification. Your thoughts?
Like, give me an example.
Um, Up until recently, in most cultures, sexuality has been heavily repressed, despite
Right.
advertising and other forms of media fully exploiting it.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, I feel like sexuality in a lot of cultures is approaching a more acceptable reality in that, as we just described, it exists.
Mm-hmm.
It does exist. In fact, existence depends on its existence because that's how more people are made.
Mm-hmm.
So there is seemingly a cultural social need to normalize sexuality. And in doing so, find an avenue to do that simultaneously deconstructs and dismantles the narrative of objectifying people who display their sexuality. So your thoughts on the matter?
So are we talking just like sexual orientation or
I would say the interaction of the individual to the public.
like putting it out there?
Right. Just like your clothing, your identity, your preference, your pronouns,
Right.
whatever.
I feel like being very English, part of like the community that's in those situations.
Hmm.
I don't see a lot of hiding it.
Right.
Um,
And that's kind of what I'm touching on, is like normalizing it. It's like people don't have to be obligated to hide it. They don't have to share it,
right,
but they don't have to be obligated not to share it.
right. I just I'm in a place where I don't see people who are like, oh, I guess I'll just come out and just say this, I guess. Like, I'm just in a sense where everybody's just so straightforward and they just don't care and they're just like, okay.
Which is the way it should be, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're right. I don't see much of, I don't know if I've just like dwindled down to what I see on social media and things like that. And I don't watch television, so I don't see the news. I don't see any kind of news, anything, anywhere. So I just don't care that much.
Generally don't associate with anyone over the age of 50.
I generally don't associate with people.
That helps. That helps.
But I know it's an issue out there, like, and everybody else is like, I might be just lucky and I'm seeing all the good parts of it.
Maybe.
And how it should be. It's definitely out there more. I just feel like people need to stop caring.
Right. They're making too big a deal out of it.
It's too big.
It's just a nipple. Like, get over it.
Little Johnny wants to be little Susie.
Right. Get over it.
Perfect. Get over it. It's not your life.
Yep.
Right. Like,
makes sense.
There was a quote. I need to find it. It's by Johnny Depp.
Oh, okay. I'm a fan.
It's just keep moving forward and don't give a shit about what anybody else thinks. Do what you have to do for you.
Fair enough. Sounds like Johnny Depp.
Yeah. You don't have a here are all the fucks that I have to give. Seems pretty empty, huh?
I see
because
no fucks.
There are none.
I see no fucks.
No fucks.
None. Fair enough.
I'm gonna do me. If you don't like it, GTFO. If you want to sit there and you want to complain and you don't want to leave, I'll make you leave.
Rar.
Rar.
Yours is a lot better than mine, I have to admit.
It's the thing. That's the other thing, though, is on top of, like, I'm very cool, calm, and collected. I don't get feisty or, like, I can get sassy, but I'm not mean. I don't get angry or, like,
you're not
anything like that. I will put up with a lot before I blow a fuse. Like, my fuse is this short, but it takes a long time to get through it.
Right. And
then because of who I am 99.999% of the time, who I am when something makes me snap, people are like, are you the same person?
Right.
Are you okay? And then they're like, remind me to never piss you off because that I didn't know.
I think that's kind of more in line of how I like manage my community. Is like pretty much everyone's just doing whatever they want. The moment someone steps out of line, I'm like, no, you done fucked up. Calling you out.
And I'm not somebody who's just like, you fucked up once, bye.
Right.
I'm like, I'll sit there and I'll talk to you. I'm like, do you understand? Like, I'll be like, hey, Nicole, shut your mouth.
Yeah, Nicole. God. Every time. Every street.
Like, hey, Nicole.
Always a problem.
You realize you need to ELE, right? Everybody love everybody.
God.
But I attack the situation there. Like, well, I don't attack it, but I bring it up and I try to deal with it. And then if they wanna sit there and be mature about the situation and move forward and things like that, I'll be like, okay, cool, and glad that we can be chill. But you come across this a second time, honey, you're done, and you're done.
Right.
There's no coming back from it. I like to give everybody everybody a million chances. I'm a softie, and I just want to see people change. And people can come to me and swear up and down that they're going to change and it's going to be different, but I just, depending on the situation, there's a line that needs to be drawn. And people can lose, you can lose it quick with me, or you can have a million chances in the world, and it sucks sometimes because that's how I get hurt. That's what it is.
I hear you. Did you want to touch more on the objectification side of things, or no?
Like what?
Just anything you may have experienced or your philosophies against it?
Define objectifications.
I think in its most broad terms, and that's probably the best way to look at it, is any reduction of a person's identity below that of being a person.
So, belittlement.
Sure, that's a part of it, for sure.
As someone who is fairly suggestive on other forms of social media, sometimes people are not so kind.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get a lot of like mean things saying that I shouldn't be doing that, or I don't look good doing it,
Right.
or that it's not the place for it. But I get things like, I'd pay to see more of that. Or, why don't you come over here and let me do that?
That made me uncomfortable, even with this you saying it.
Yeah. It's and there's more things that just make me feel like I used the term once. I went on a Snapchat rant because somebody sent me something that I really didn't want to see. And this is going to get kind of really deep. But I went on this really huge rant, and it was just a whole bunch of like, I'm asking for it stamped on my forehead.
Right.
I don't.
Right.
Like that. I understand that the content that I put out there is suggestive and provocative, but I'm making this content because it makes me happy, it makes me feel good, and that's all that matters. I like looking at me like that.
Right.
I want to be narcissistic for a bit, and this content is how I do it.
Right. Right.
I wasn't asking for it. There was a it was Z, you're asking for it. Your content is asking for it.
Oof.
And I said, was I asking for it? I apologize in advance, like big trigger warning. It's like when my boyfriend moved in when I was 16, was I asking for it when he raped me twice? No. Oh, well, Z, what were you wearing? Sweatpants and a t-shirt. I wasn't asking for it. I didn't look like I wanted it. No matter what I look like at the time, I'm just living my life. You don't get to say that because I posted this video with my torso exposed, that I want all of this unnecessary sexual attention. Like, I don't want to feel verbally, like, I don't even know. verbally raped or like eye raped, like when somebody
Right,
stares
yeah.
for too long
Yeah.
and they just have this look on their face and you just feel like they're like, I know I'm naked in their brain right now.
Right, right.
And I don't like it. I don't. Can't we just be positive and violated? Yes. Like, I can't we just positive and just be like, oh yeah, you look good. Not come over so I can take off the rest of your clothes.
I think my
I
favorite,
understand.
one of my favorite protests was a women's march. And there was a woman who was completely naked. And she had written on her body, still not asking for it. I was like, nailed it. Nailed it.
I go,
Nailed it.
I used to go to Pride every year. For 3 years in a row, I went to Pride before I moved to PA, and I kind of moved right in the middle of Pride, so I missed it. And then this year, obviously, it was all canceled. But I would go to Pride, and I would go topless, and I'd like paint my womanly bits, and I would paint my
chesticles,
tits,
as some may say.
my chesticles, and people would ask for pictures. And one time somebody walked by me and just was like, let me just tap that real quick. I speak English, I swear. And I was like, excuse me? And they're like, what?
Illegal.
They're just out there.
That's illegal.
And I'm like, I said, yeah, they are. Because I'm just, here at Pride, and I'm, practicing my rights and, supporting a community that I am proudly a part of, and just trying to throw in like women's rights in general in there, and the fact that things like this, what our just encounter was, just happen, and it's violating.
And that's the kind of situation where I would then punch them in the face, and I'd be like, "What? It was just out there."
This was one of those don't piss off Z moments. That was like this guy was pale in his face after I got done speaking to him, and this conversation literally ended with, "I'm so sorry, ma'am," and he turned around and he ran. It's like, well, you don't look at me and you're just like, you would rip your throat out. No, because I wouldn't, unless you really make me. Like, I'm not just gonna go rip your throat out. You have to you need to grab my tit in public.
To be fair, I think that's a good line to draw.
Violate me in public.
Line to draw.
Violate me in public, and that's probably what will get you to the point.
Fair enough. Yeah, and that kind of goes back to what I was talking about, like normalizing sexuality. Like, obviously,
it's a body part,
right? And
everybody
that's
has
kind of the
them.
thing is, it's because we don't just generally talk about it, that we don't just have a general understanding of consent and a general understanding of personal space and acceptance, because it's
clothing used
nothing
to never
that's talked
exist.
about. Right. And so it's that's the problem. It's like, it's these topics that no one wants to ever talk about, and because of that, we don't have just general established good social guidelines. People think they just have to explore it on their own, and then they make a mistake and they're like, well, I didn't know. It's like, well, you should, right?
Yeah. So. You don't just touch somebody just because you have the opportunity to. So. Like, clothing used to, who decided that, like, when people decided that we should be clothed, that we should have protection over our body, who decided that after that happened, what was underneath the clothes was inappropriate? It's just excuse me?
It's weird. It is control of master. I agree. It's a bunch of people who can't get any that get into power, and then they just want to spread their misery everywhere. Agreed.
I don't even understand how people find these bits attractive.
Well,
Like, what's so? Is it just the fact that you're
couple
not
million
constantly
years of
seeing
biology.
it?
Yeah, a couple million years of biology behind it. You know.
It's like, oh, I never see X, Y, and Z, so like, oh, they're instantly just like, yeah, attractive.
Right, and that's again going back to the normalization, right? Is if it's just something that we do see every day, then it doesn't become this taboo. It's there, it's there.
They're just tits.
Yeah, that's all.
I see them all the
I
time.
got
They're
nipples.
not that great.
I got nipples. You got nipples.
Yeah, we all have.
We all
I
have
mean,
nipples.
maybe not everybody.
No big deal. In fact, to be fair, you actually on occasion have to use your nipples, whereas we never have to use our nipples. So if anything, you should be the one allowed to share your nipple, not us.
Exactly. Yeah. How come there's why are there like rules where like men can go out shirtless at any given point?
Right.
But there's in some states women can't go topless.
Right. Doesn't make any sense.
Gratefully, I am in a state in which I can. If I wanted to walk out of my house down the street and just be topless, like by all means I could. Would I? Probably not. But if I wanted to.
It's weird. I don't get it. It's one of those things I would do if I was president, right? I would get 12 pictures of close-ups, some man boob, some female boob, and just put it on the screen and be like, any TV station that can correctly censor the right ones, go ahead. And none of them will. And I'm like, okay, we've just proved a point. All nipples are nipples. Get over it. Done.
Yeah.
Right. Because honestly, if there was if you like cherry picked a couple good pictures of male and female nipples close up, just like side boob pictures, right? You wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
No. It's also like the difference between a bathing suit being publicly appropriate, but
Right, and then
you're
underwear
bra in
not.
your underwear or
Yeah.
not. Just because that you know that they're two different things.
Right.
One's supposed to be private.
Right.
I'm sorry, honey, but if my bra matches my underwear, that's the same thing as wearing a matching bathing suit. Like,
And to be fair, I've seen most thongs cover more than some bathing suits.
exactly.
So
Like, if I'm gonna leave my house in just my bra and my underwear, I'm gonna make sure I'm covered. I'm also not one who's like, oh, I want to buy a bathing suit that's like not gonna cover my ass. No, I want to be covered.
society's weird. What can I say?
Yeah. I'm not somebody who's gonna put a whole bunch of trust in a piece of fabric.
Right.
Would I give a damn if somehow I flashed the entire beach? Probably not, because it's probably my fault. And I mean, hey, it's a show that they get and blah, blah, blah. But I'm not going to do it on purpose. There's been plenty of times where I've been at a pool and like, I don't know, like something happened and my freaking top came untied. Like, boo-hoo.
We've all lost our
And
bathing
never like,
suit in the ocean.
oh my god, I just saw. Yeah, you just. Come on.
But we've all lost our bathing suit in the ocean. Nothing new.
Never lost my bathing suit in the ocean.
Really?
But my top has come untied quite a few times.
It's the same thing.
Tops coming up when I was a minor. I was with my cousin at a pool, a public pool, and she had these guy friends come, and she was not a minor, and her friends were not minors. And one of her friends decided that once I sat up on the edge of the pool, he was just going to yoink at my bathing suit string. And luckily I caught things in time, but safe to say she never hung out with those boys again, and they were never seen again.
Well done.
That was a time and a half.
That's the one part I don't get, and this is kind of what we were talking, what chat was starting to touch on that I wanted to get into a little bit. Because we've talked about this in person. In that there's a false anonymity to the internet. And that false anonymity makes the boundary between fantasy and reality a lot closer than it is in real life. Right? So, like, going back to what you were saying, where, like, someone may comment on a photo, like, I would pay to see more of that. Like, you would never publicly say that to a stranger.
Yeah,
in
come
public,
to me
around other people.
Like, if you
right?
you can say all this, you want to see more, you would pay to see more, you want me to come over so you can do all these things. Come find me.
Right.
Tell it to my face.
In a crowded room of other people.
Correct.
Because that's the thing, like, they feel, and that's going on to say, like, the false anonymity, they feel like it's just them talking to just you, and they're forgetting that this is a public post that anyone in the world can see it. So just going up to someone in real life and saying it is not the equivalent. It's going up to someone who's, like, in a crowded room and everyone's listening, and you go up to someone that you've never met before and you're like, hey, your outfit's hot, can you take off some? Like,
right,
you would never,
like, here's $50, can I see more? Like,
right, you would never do that in public. And that's what I'm talking about. So there's this, like, false anonymity on the internet. And here's the thing, it doesn't matter if you're anonymous or not, right? People still know it's you, it's your identity online. So I think there's part, as again, coming back to the whole idea of just normalizing things. Like, we just need to have more open social dialogue about it, so the expectations that are healthy are widely established, and that's just the grounds on which society operates. And call people out. You see that shit, you blast them. I think I did one on your Instagram, actually, with my anonymous account. You guys can probably
find a whole bunch of people to call out on my social media. So have a field day.
I definitely called someone out, and their response was, "Thanks, Dad." I was like, "Yeah."
They did. They said, "Thanks, Dad."
Yeah, got him. That's how you know you got him, right? That's how you know you got him. So yeah, call him out. Just be like, "Yo, you would never do that in a crowded room with everyone listening."
There was this one time I had posted a TikTok. It has since been deleted for, I don't really know why I deleted it, because it was really great. But I was at a bar and a TikTok song played, and I had my friend record me because I was like, oh my God, TikTok runs my life. I'm going to do this TikTok dance at the bar. And I did it and I uploaded it. And somebody commented going, who let this 12-year-old boy into a bar and put a wig on him?
Nice.
So this has also since been deleted because I felt really bad about, like, 2 weeks later. But I grabbed their username, I tagged them in my post, and I made a new TikTok saying, I'm sorry, but I don't think I sound like a 12-year-old boy. I really might call myself a 12-year-old boy sometimes, but I mean, like, that's just me being me, but I don't think I look like a 12-year-old boy. I'm pretty sure I've got some hardware. I got some bobs and a vagine, so
got some hardware. The female upgrade kit.
I mean, if you want to, like, scroll through my TikTok some more, I mean, it's pretty apparent that I'm of the female descent.
But to be fair, it is a wig.
This is, yeah. when I made the post, I was not wearing a wig. But that was a fair point. I am fake today. Sorry. To disappoint.
Okay, we have reached 7 minutes to time. And while I still have a bunch of questions not gotten to, that's a good sign, because that means you'll probably be on again. Much like what happens with PAXcast. I guess midstream, end of stream, mix up round 2. Lightning round mustache questions. How many do you have? Let's time this out, because we have about 6 minutes. I have 4. All right, so we got like a minute a question. Let's do it. Right.
Okay. How long have you been styling your mustache that way, and what drove you to do so?
Man, I think I've been asked this several times. I'll just keep slightly doing it different every time I say it. Do you recall which one of them? Yep. Great.
How are you today?
Great. No.
Hello, Z.
Do you recall the story I told about trying to eat a sandwich?
No.
Okay, great. Let's do that one again. My advice to anyone who wants to grow facial hair is just grow everything out. Just let all of it grow, not trimmed. So you see what comes in. And then you'll know, like, oh, I have 2 spots here. Or this is blonde and it doesn't look like I have hair there, even though I have a ton of hair there. Right? So let it all grow out so you see what you have. And then you can shape it. However, during this process, there are, just like growing your regular hair out, those awkward lengths. And for a while, I had been, pulling my mustache to the side because it, kind of covers the mouth. And at one point, I was working for a summer research project, and I would bring like little dried berries and nuts for my lunch. Sometimes I'd have a sandwich. And one time, took my sandwich, took a bite, and I couldn't bite into it. I was like, oh, I forgot to take the plastic off. There's no plastic on this sandwich. I tried to bite it again. Same thing happened again. My mustache would like catch the sandwich as it went in and acted as like a barrier between my teeth and the sandwich, and I could not bite it. I was like, this is a problem. We need to fix this. So then I started waxing it to the side. And I was like, I'm kind of getting some Dolly vibes going on here. I could go for this. And so I just kept growing it, and now this happened.
What's your favorite historical mustache?
Historical mustache.
Yes.
So here's the thing. I was actually going to look up the answer to this question because I knew you were going to ask it. And I forgot to look up the answer. So I have to look up the answer right now. It is the Italian airplane designer from World War II. To remember his name. Is it Caproni? It might be Caproni. Is there a picture of Caproni? Yes. Let me see if I can get this on screen. Hold on. We're gonna hit this button temporarily. Please hold. It's gonna be hard to see. Oh God, there's a giant Z in the back. Look out!
Oh no!
But on the right, you see on the right,
Yes.
Caproni? That's like the tame version. You can see it goes up close to his eye, like halfway up his cheek.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hell of a mustache. Look at if you can. I can't find because I didn't do the research ahead of time, but it's Gianni Caproni, Italian
Good
World War
answer.
II airplane designer. He had a great mustache.
This one I don't quite understand entirely because I can probably tell you the answer myself. But does your mustache ever impair your vision? Like,
no, all the time. And this is the worst part. You want to know? This is the worst part, right? So from your perspective, you see this? See how it looks two-dimensional? And it's just it's not. It's three-dimensional. Yeah. And sometimes, like this one right now is going forward a little bit, and this one's actually going like backwards a little bit. So from your perspective, it looks normal. But from my perspective, this one looks like it's like hooked down, and this one looks like it's like coming up this way. So to me, it looks like it's like this.
Yes.
But to you, it looks like it's like this.
Yes.
So it's a constant source of anxiety. Because like, oh God, my mustache looks terrible. And then I look in the mirror, I'm like, how is that possible? The perspective is just...
Like, you know how
you never get used to it.
You can always see your nose.
Right. But you're used to it because it's the same all the time.
Right. So
this
can
is
always
constantly
see your
changing.
mustache.
It's constantly changing, though. That's the problem.
Right. So it's constantly in...
Right.
your range of view, whether you're paying attention to it or not.
Right.
Antenna.
Pretty much.
What products do you use? I think this question was thrown my way because I went to cosmetology school.
Okay. Yeah. So I like to make my own stuff, but there is a brand that does a pretty good job. Badger.
Okay.
Most people know Badger Balm, but they also make a Badger mustache wax, which is a pretty good one.
Okay.
But you need You need beeswax for the general wax, which is too soft. So then you have to add propolis to stiffen it up, which is like that sugary glue that bees use to glue the hive shut. Right. But propolis and beeswax is hard as hell at room temperature. So then you have to add in bergamot oil to soften it a little bit. And it gives it a nice smell. And then you just have to get it to the right consistency where you can scrape it with your nail hard. But if you roll it in your fingers, it melts. And then you can apply it, and then it hardens again. So that's the trick.
Well, I don't think this person got what they wanted out of it. I thought they may have wanted me to roast you, but cosmetologist approved.
I would hope so. I put a lot of thought into this. I don't use beard oil. I have a Bluebeard is the company, and they have like a cream that we use for this hair. Okay. And I do that like once a week. Not very often.
I feel like when people put oils through the entirety of their facial hair, it just makes it look unkept.
It can, yeah.
Like I feel like
I feel like you need really long I think you need really long facial hair to use oil. Because at that point your natural oil doesn't get far enough down.
Correct.
The shaft.
Because at that point, like if you have dry skin under your facial hair and you have short facial hair, like obviously like put the oils on your skin.
I was actually kind of terrified. So I used to have like all of this here, and I shaved it to get the new shape when I was going for the tied down thing. And I had the driest skin. Like I was mortified. I was like, oh God, is it like that on the rest of it? Probably.
So,
well, good thing no one ever sees it, right?
Yeah, I'm really self-conscious about like my eyebrow region because I'm like constantly changing my eyebrows. My eyebrows have been the same for a while and it's kind of freaking me out. But my eyebrows, like I constantly dry all around my eyebrows because I'm always messing with them and like stripping everything, all like the natural oils and everything from that section of my face. And I'm like, can you see my dry skin? Hopefully not. Thank you. My like skincare regimen is like 7 steps.
But as it should be.
As it should be.
I don't think, and I'm guilty of this myself.
Proper steps for your skin.
I'm guilty of this myself. I don't take good enough care of my skin. I do have some very nice forehead wrinkles, though. Those things are straight. Like
you can't really see mine.
I got wrinkles. You have no wrinkles. You have 2 in the middle, barely.
And it's the lights blurring. It's my ring light and everything like blurring my face. They are prominent. They're prominent. Like I look very smooth. I have very textured skin. It's awful. You should know these things.
Should I?
Yes.
Okay. I'm now taking notes. I said I wasn't taking notes. I'm now taking notes.
Did you not pay attention to me when we met?
Notes.
Please tell me you did not just write down Z has textured skin. I was just saying you should already know this because you've seen me in person.
I mean, I don't want to sound cliche.
Okay.
But let's just say I was a little distracted by the lack of imperfection to notice the imperfection.
And on that note, do you have any more questions? I'm out of mustache questions.
Out of mustache. We did it. Lightning round success. Well, we're actually at time, but I do have, I guess, one thing we could end on. Okay. Your strangest customer interaction you've ever had.
Oh, God. We're talking like at work.
Retail. Yeah.
So, for those who don't know, I tore my MCL.
This is how we end a show, ladies and gentlemen. This is how we end a show.
I tore my MCL a month and a half ago, climbing on a tree, and I fell. Anyways, my leg was immobilized for an entire month. And I was like in my last week And this guy who's in all the time, I work at the service desk. So I'm dealing with returns and nasty customers and all the time. And this guy's in here all the time, returning all this stuff. And he's like, if you don't mind me asking what happened to your knee. And me getting asked that question 17 times a day, I'm just like, oh, I fell. I tore my MCL. He goes, oh, what's your MCL? And I'm like, it's the ligament that's on or the tendon or ligament. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's an MCL. It's on the inside of your knee.
Ligament. And I think that's what the L is for.
The L is for ligament. Good. I'm not a doctor. Now I know. And he goes, well, I practice massage therapy. I could help you out. And I was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. You didn't even know what an MCL was. I don't think you can help me. And I walk away, and I walk to the back of the desk and behind the cage. So, like, I was away from him. And I was, like, there for 2 minutes, and I walked back out, and he's just sitting there at my desk, just waiting. And I look over, and I'm like, can I help you? He was like, I just really want to know why you don't want my help. I could really help you. And I was like, I don't want you touching me. He goes, oh, but you're just so beautiful. And I'm like...
Exactly.
There it is.
Exactly.
There it is.
Exactly. That's exactly why I don't want you touching me. One thing doctors generally don't say to you before they begin an exam is, oh, you're so beautiful.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
Oh, man. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I had a customer threaten to steal something from the store because one of our registers was broken, and they were fed up for waiting, so they just said they were going to walk out, and I had to put them in their place. Very hard.
I was single, and I just started at this job, and this guy came in 2 or 3 times because he kept forgetting things, and he kept coming through my register, and he goes, we need to stop meeting like this. Maybe we should start meeting over dinner. And I was like, how old are you? And he goes, oh, I'm 45. I'm like, you're old enough to be my dad! And he goes, so is that a yes? Can I get your number? No! No!
I'm going to wrap it up here. Ready? This could be a great way to end it. Okay. So, I was working in Colorado. And there was a coworker who she and I got along pretty well, and we would always tease each other about, because we were both getting awkward customer situations. And I was at the register, and she got to be a department manager before I did. So there was this weird moment where she had like more power than I did, and she really exploited that fact for a while. It was pretty fun, but I was helping someone out, and I needed manager approval to override something. So She came out, and she was noticing me and the customer interacting. And when the customer left, she's like, she was into you. I was like, I thought so, but like, isn't that wrong for me? Like, me to, like, that's not the right place, right? And she was like, no, here's the thing is, all you have to do is ask yourself, can the person leave the situation? If yes, it's okay to ask. If not, it is not okay to ask. Which is to say, like, if you're in a restaurant and you have a waitress or a waiter, it's not okay because they can't leave. They are obligated to come back. It is not okay to ask. But, you're at a bar, you're walking down the street, which, it's still bad form, kind of, walking down the street. Like, people have got places to be, dude. Like, leave them alone. But they at least have the option to leave. And
right.
To extrapolate upon that, if the option they choose is leave, you let them leave. There's no chasing. There's no hard to get. Just no. And that's the thing, is like people, I would go back to like trying to wrap the whole conversations we had today. So like with the whole idea of consent is like, if we normalize these things, then there aren't these games we have to play, right? We could just say, hey, I like you. Oh, I like you too. Or, hey, you're really cute. It's like, yeah, I'm not that into you. Okay. Like, it's just, It's just normal. It's just, you don't want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with you. That's a terrible situation. So once you both know where each other stand, then it's just like, okay, this isn't going to work. We'll move on, right? Simple.
Oh, yeah. The talking about consent reminded me of a line from a poem that I just really vibe with. It's, real men don't rape. Oh shit, must have been a ghost then. Consent is sexy. Lingerie is sexy. Consent is a basic human right.
Yes.
That's all.
It is sexy, though. But it's also a basic human right. Just saying. So, yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for the YouTube portion of the stream. Thank you all for watching Season 2, Episode 8 of Losing Our Marbles. I talked to Z. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Hitting with them hard facts. Anything you'd like to promote?
I've got social media.
What a coincidence. We were just talking about that.
Right.
Amazing.
Let's go to my social media and spread positivity.
Yeah. TikTok?
Yeah. TikTok is In the Life of Z.
Snapchat?
Twitter is In the Life of Z. Instagram is In the Life of Z.
Mm-hmm.
And then my Snapchat is Music Freak. Instead of an S, it's a Z, and then it's 2K15.
There you go. Boom. Some or all links will be in the description.
Somewhere,
maybe. If I get around to it. If I can be bothered. All right, thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.